I don't think that reflective patriotism is enough for most students. That we need something more fervent than that. We need some more ardor, some fire. The curriculum has to have inspiring, and I'm talking about the roadmap becoming curriculum. It's got to be filled with American greatness. Students have to know things. Of course, they have to know Stonewall Jackson fought for the wrong darn side. Of course. They should also know what Jackson did at Chancellorsville and what happened to him that night. That's a story to read about. Apart from the moral problems here, they need to read masterpieces of American literature and art. They need to know Emily Dickinson's verse. They need to know what happened to Malcolm Little in prison, which is one of the great conversion stories in all of American history and literature. That we got to inspire these kids to know more about their country. And that means, of course, the negative, of course. But again, we have to have some kind of invigorating alternative, let's say, to this woke movement that is coursing a joyless, vindictive enterprise. They need to see their country as a source of inner strength. It's got to give them pride in their country. And if we don't, they're not going to want to learn much more about it. And we're going to see NAEP scores at 12th grade in US history and civics continue at their disappointing levels.
Okay, thank you, Mark. Danielle, you get the final word.
The roadmap is inspired by a belief in the American people, a belief in their capacity to think for themselves. That's the most important fundamental point about the roadmap. The roadmap is also inspired by the recognition that different people in our extraordinary country have very different experiences of this country. Some more negative than others, some more positive than others. All start from a different place, yet we are trying to pull ourselves together into a shared conversation. We have to make room for those different starting places as we seek to pull ourselves together into a shared conversation. That's why the roadmap is fundamentally an invitation. We do believe that the questions that we have laid out here are fundamental. They are how you build your muscles for participating in a democracy, in a constitutional democracy, for understanding it, for being effective in relationship to it, for having a strong sense of love and respect for it, all of those things. And we believe that you get to exercise those muscles, build them up truly when you are given the space to think for yourself. Hence, the focus on questions. So I'll conclude by saying what I began with. The roadmap is inspired by faith in the American people and their ability to think for themselves.